When I started this adventure several days ago, I never thought I would be tackling terrains like this. Over the last few days there have been many hours and kilometres walked and steps taken with one purpose in mind. My journeys into the high mountains over the last few days have given me a new perspective, a vantage point over the landscape, and in a spiritual way, as though it's reminding the DNA within inside me as to why I'm stood here. I feel very lucky to have had this close encounter with the world's only mountain parrot and an endangered species, the kea. New Zealand is a beautiful place with many iconic locations, and I feel very fortunate that I can share them with you through these videos and through the lens on my camera. There have been many memorable journeys during my time in New Zealand's beautiful South Island. Journeys that have taken us into paradise, a paradise with views like this. Sometimes it's not the photo that changes a photographer, it's the journey to get there and the legacy that is left behind. I truly believe that the art of landscape photography is just as important as the tools to create it, because it provides a window to our ancestral connection to the landscape. Our landscape photography adventure continues south following the beautiful mountains of New Zealand's South Island. However, we call into a location on the way and use the power of photography in a different way. As I'm driving through one of the backcountry roads of New Zealand, there was something on the side of the road that immediately caught my attention, and it was a fence line that's been completely covered with women's bras. And I pulled over to take a look because I didn't really understand why they're here, but when I took a closer look at the sign, it's recognition of breast cancer, and there's a donation box, so I've made my donation, and I thought this was so striking considering the kind of landscape we're in. I took a photo as well. I'll put the photo up. I hope you enjoy it. And please go ahead and show your appreciation for breast cancer as well. So as I'm driving through this backcountry road in Otago, I came across some historic buildings, and I don't normally photograph historic buildings, even though I have an interest in history. I've just never bothered, but today we're going to change that. I pulled over and I thought it was quite a nice photo to take. Here we have the old town hall of a local town here called Cardrona, which I believe is an old gold mining town. We're currently in an area of Otago which was the epicenter for New Zealand's gold mining rush back in the day, and yeah, beautiful building, very old. Took one photo with a 45-100mm lens with a polarizer. I hope you appreciate it. And here we have another historic building, looking very beautiful with a very old, what looks to be an old Ford, sat outside.
There have been many types of journeys on this adventure, and each adventure has had its challenges. But at the end of that adventure, there is always somewhere to stay. And there is always a view that is to be appreciated. Our adventure today continues through desert-like environments and gives us a new perspective from a high vantage point.
So what an amazing view this is. In terms of vantage points, looking down, this is absolutely incredible. We've got incredible views down into Arrowtown and Queenstown here, and I totally took the opportunity here to take a panoramic photo with the 45 to 100mm lens. We're at 100mm f8 polarizer. There is so much contrast in this landscape. I'm not sure if it's going to be a black and white or colour photo, but yeah, I hope you enjoy the photo, whatever it will be. Well, this is an absolute beautiful lake. We are here in Queenstown, and here we have the magnificent, remarkable mountains. Sawtooth-like mountains. They're absolutely beautiful. There's no snow on them right now because it's summer, but I still think they look beautiful, and there's not a whisper of a cloud in the sky, and the lake is relatively calm, although there are lots of ripples because of the boats and stuff. So we just put the 45 to 100mm lens on, got the polarizer and 2 ND filters, so 11 stops of ND on there, and we're doing a long exposure. This will be a black and white photo, and I just think a clear blue sky is perfect for a minimal, fine art type black and white photo. Settings wise, we're at f11, ISO 100, and it was a 13-second exposure. And I'll put the photo up. I hope you enjoy it. Well, we have ourselves another magnificent vista from an elevated position, and we've got incredible views onto the high peaks that start to form the Fjordland National Park. Big mountains, glaciers, snow-capped peaks. Could it get any better? The only thing that could be better right now is some sunset and sunlight hues, and we've got to get to our final location for that. So I've got my Fujifilm GFX 50S2 set up here with the 45 to 100mm lens, and we're zoomed in all the way to 100mm, f16, ISO 100. We have a polarizer, a 3-stop and a 6-stop ND filter, so 3 filters in total, 11 stops of ND, and that's just to make sure we get a nice soft blur on the water, and it's a panoramic. The only question in my mind right now is, will it be a colour photo or a black and white photo? Well, you'll see that right now.
The challenges along this journey will be forever rememberable. And rememberable because of how they have changed me. They have fueled the ember that I have for adventure and travel. To explore new landscapes. And to travel the road less travelled in search of new paradises. So I encourage you, pick up your camera, go for a drive and explore somewhere new, because you never know what is round the corner.
So this has to be the Kiwi barn in New Zealand that has the most epic views. Look at those mountains behind that Kiwi barn. Absolutely incredible. It's just positioned perfectly to look on those mountains. I did just take a photo of this with a 45 to 100mm lens, panoramic. Don't know if it's going to be black and white. Have a look. I hope you enjoy it. Let's continue this adventure. What a magnificent drive it was to get to the location we are right now. We drove through open fields with green and golden grass, through ancient forests, along farmland, and then a short walk through some paddocks to get to a hilltop to give us an absolutely stunning view of these mountains and glacial rivers behind us. The last of the light is coming through the landscape right now, so we'll take a photo of this. We've got the Fujifilm GFX 2 with a 45 to 100mm lens. We are at 45mm in panoramic mode, f8, and ISO, we'll put ISO to ISO 200, 2-second timer. We're focusing on the mountains, and it is as beautiful as that.
Now when it comes to sunsets, the light changes quickly, and in New Zealand there is only 30 minutes of twilight light, so pay attention to the next photos because the light changes subtly, but each subtle change has its own impact on the photo.
So how magnificent is this? We're now starting to get the last light falling across the snow-capped peaks, and I really like the contrast between that and the dark rocks and the dark forest. So we're going to take a photo of this now. We're now at 60mm. I've zoomed in a little bit just to cut out some of the foreground that wasn't really adding any value. And f8, ISO 200, we're focusing on the mountain in front of us. Just manual focus check. This is nice and sharp. 2-second timer. That's looking beautiful. Yeah, I like it. That's looking really nice. I'll put a photo up. I hope you enjoy it. Sandflies. They're ferocious. So there is some quite nice colour starting to build in the sky now. So I'm going to take a photograph of this one. We've got some nice yellow coming through, which is the start of the twilight. So yeah, ISO 200, 60mm on the lens, f8, 10th of a second, focusing on the mountains. Nice photo. It's got a nice kind of yellow hue in the sky. I hope you enjoy it. Well, the colours really starting to build quite nicely now in the sky, as you can see. We've got the beautiful twilight colours. So we're going to take a photo of this, and we're still at 60mm f8, ISO 200. It is 1.7 seconds. Focusing on the manual, focusing on the mountains. Manual focus check. It's nice and sharp. I'm just shielding the lens from the wind by putting my hand next to it. And that is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And that's it for today's video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I will put up what I think are the best photos of the day for you to see at the end of this video. Sorry, the sand flag is still going at me. I'm getting on my legs and everything. I'm going to be putting bike cream on for an hour, I think, when I return to my car. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Give me some comments on the photos, like and subscribe to the channel. Go to my website, check out my merchandise and my prints. And yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye for now, take care, have a good day.